from my travels, a couple of questions for you. First of all, why am I? So I get to Britain a week or so back, and I walk into Heathrow, and I go stare at a camera. And the gates open, and I walk in, and that's the only person I ever deal with to get into Britain.
I didn't even see a gate. You didn't even see a customs agent.
No customs agent,
queue,
no nothing. I get to Singapore, I go stare at a camera, the gates open, I walk in, there is no customs agent.
And it wasn't just because you were travelling presidential class or first class.
It wasn't any of that at all. It was just they let people into the country. And yet, on the plane home yesterday, I'm played a video about New Zealand and how important it is that we love the kiwi and the fern. And then I'm met by a person with paperwork. I need to fill out paperwork. Now, why is it that I can get into Britain, an island nation, and into Singapore, an island nation, with no paperwork, no nothing, and yet I'm stuck in 1983 in New Zealand?
Filling in 13 bits of information, as I understood it in my past life, that actually we can provide the government, and actually very few of those pieces of paper are actually sampled. So, no, very good challenge, really good challenge. We should be using technology a lot more. This is what I'm talking about. This is how we get more efficient, more effective, better service. These are the things we have to do, and I'm not quite sure why we haven't got that.
But you're in charge of the country. Fix it.
Yeah. Hey, welcome home. He's fired up. 2 weeks away.
For God's sake!
My God, we've got a grudge. We've got a big list going on.
If we want to be internationally competitive,
I agree with you.
Isn't that a good?
No, I agree with you. Like, I was in Singapore recently. Much more seamless experience. I mean, I know Auckland's trying to improve with the investments they're making there at the airport. But I think it's a very fair challenge because actually, I had thought several years ago that we'd got rid of the forms, or that was the whole point, was that we were providing as airlines a lot of the information the government needed around your back, just the basic stuff that's on the form.
How huckleberry do you think it is if I've come out of New York and I'm flying to New Zealand and the next thing I see is some sort of video with some guy telling me about ferns and I mean, honestly.
Yeah. It's well, we're just going to make sure we give the right impression to the place. I mean, it'll be It'll be seen as charming, I suspect.
No, it won't. It's not. It's not charming. It's old world, right?
No, but fair point. That's a fair point about the technology stuff.
And we need to do something about it. Next point. You're against the bed tax in Auckland, aren't you? Broadly speaking.
No, we're actually open. We are going to look at the bed levy.
Yeah, but you're looking at it, you're not doing it.
No, we said we wouldn't do it this term, but we actually have a piece of work underway now with a view of looking at it. Because if you go to, like, you would have been in, where were you, London, New York, Singapore, you would have got your hotel bill, and at the very end of it, it would have said, like, GST, and then it might have said state tax or municipal tax or whatever it is.
So why aren't we taxing people?
Well, we are looking at that, but I want to make sure when we do it, we design it appropriately. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole bunch of conversations. Should it be a national levy rather than actually Auckland goes off, does its version, Queenstown goes off, and then in a small country, it doesn't sort of make sense to the visitor coming in and out of the country.
Right.
So it's those kinds of things we've got to think through.
So here's my car. I'm in a car, right?
Yeah.
I'm travelling from JFK to downtown New York. So I get an airport access fee. Yep. I get a New York congestion fee. This is just one journey in one amazing car, right? So I've got an airport access fee, a New York congestion fee. I've got an MTA congestion surcharge below 60th Street.
Yeah.
I've got a New York State black car fund. I've got evaluated VAT and sales tax of 8.875%. So my ride goes from $174.19 to over $200 just in tax.
And then you had to pay them a tip.
So why aren't we taxing it? Yeah, exactly. So why aren't we taxing?
Which would have been, you would have paid them like 10% instead of 22.
So the point being, why don't we just tax everybody like everyone else does? Why aren't we doing?
Well,
what
we're
the
the party of low
doing?
taxes.
No, well, I mean, either you want to get these people or you don't. I mean, we're a tourist destination. Fleece them.
Well, there's a very good argument for a bed levy, an accommodation levy. I think that rather than a targeted rate that we've seen Auckland do on hotels, but it's just about just being really going into that eyes wide open. One of the great things about New Zealand is that we have a pretty simple tax system, and if you start complexing it by saying actually lots of different regions, different cities can go off and do their own thing, let's have a look at it properly, and then when we make a decision, come out and make it clean and simple for everyone to understand.
Okay, why aren't we more like Singapore?
Well, we've got very different political systems. They've just gone into their fourth prime minister in 60 years. There's a lot that's very attractive about Singapore.
Yes, there is.
I met with the Singaporean Speaker of the House. They all have day jobs. They actually work in businesses as well as working in their parliament. He opens up the parliament for 3 days a month. They do 6 laws, and it's a very attractive proposition. Exactly. But we have a different model here. We quite like our democracy and the way our democracy system kind of works.
All I know is every time I'm in Singapore, I feel happy.
It's impressive, isn't it? I mean, like, I've been studying that country since I was in my late teens, and You read a great book called Third World to First World. That's a country with no resources.
Yeah.
They have added 16% to the land size, and it's still smaller than Lake Taupo.
And everyone jogs, and they're all healthy, and there's a service culture, and they can't do enough for you.
Well, they just got that relentless, constant desire, ambition, aspiration to keep upgrading the joint. And that's what our goal is here. I mean, go look at Christchurch recently, Mike. You look at it and you go, right, well, that rebuilt infrastructure, great university, good startups coming off the back of university, airport's great, convention centre, stadium, house prices are affordable because we opened up the planning space and suburbs north and south of Christchurch. That's kind of a pretty cool place to live. If you think about the quality of life that we want to have people aspire to.
No, fair call. The other thing, and you'd appreciate this because you're in the same boat I am. This angst we've had over recent years, and I've thought about it, because I've been away. Everyone leaves New Zealand because we're a dump. It isn't. So I'm sitting with my kids in various parts of the world. It's not. They're not there because this place is a dump. They're there because they're inquiring minds and they're out there living their dream.
And sometimes there's opportunities. Like for someone like me who left here at 24, it was a chance to run big businesses that I just wouldn't have got a chance to do if I was here in New Zealand, right? So there's sometimes big opportunities, opportunities that you don't get to have here. But equally, I just say to you, this media thing about the so-called brain drain that they've been claiming, we've had a 9% growth in the last 12 months of Kiwis coming home.
Yeah.
And, having lived in those places, I was in Sydney, London, Chicago, Toronto, New York, they're difficult places to live in. It looks very attractive from here sometimes, but actually the reality is quite different.
Yeah. Do you go to field days?
Went to field days for 2 days, which I do, and it was brilliant. I mean, the atmosphere
the place seems to have gone off.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a record growth in our primary industry exports from 60 to 64 billion, so they're up about 9%. But the amazing, people haven't quite clocked this, but our exports are up, I think, 10 billion over the last year, 20 billion since we came to power. We're on track for doubling exports. It's the primary industries, yes, they're up 9%, but our services, which is about 30% of our exports, are up 10%. Tourism's up 9.5%, international education's up 11.5%. So actually, there's really good growth happening across the place. And for the first time in 5 years, we're exporting more than we're importing. And in April, in the middle of a fuel crisis, we had the biggest trade surplus we've ever had, $2 billion.
Why aren't I hearing more about this? When I'm checking
I'm telling you now, Mike.
Well, I know that, but when I'm overseas and I'm looking at my alerts from the digital media, all they want to tell me is who's going to jail and for how long and how much it's going to rain tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I think that's the conversation you and I have had before, is that we want this to be a place of, as I say, ambition and aspiration, and we should be very proud about a lot of good things going on in this country. I think, you go down to field days and just sense that community is spending money. They're buying software, they're buying, spending money with accountants. They're doing, that flows through to our whole economy ultimately.
Yeah. If the deal gets signed today with Iran, and the Strait is open, and Iran does not have a nuclear weapon as a result of this, has it been worth it?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sceptical about the whole conflict, if I'm honest with you. It's been pretty depressing, to be honest. It's happening, it's not happening, it's happening, it's not happening. Oh, we're going to park the nuclear conversations for later, and then you do wonder what has it all been worth it, and for what reason has it taken place? So, I mean, I don't know what the contours are of what they've talked. I did speak to the Pakistani Prime Minister who's in the middle of it.
When?
A few weeks back, about four weeks ago, and he was feeling there was a pathway through, but there's such little trust between the parties, that actually, as you're saying, it can fall apart at any point in time. So, the key thing for me is, we've got to control what we can control, and really we do want a resolution there. We do want diplomacy, not more military action. We need those ships flowing. And hopefully within a 2 to 3 week period, we'd see that with lower pump prices here as well.
We had Barbara Edmonds on earlier on, this business of the $18 billion hole. I couldn't work out what was Nicola trying to do yesterday. I mean, are you panicked?
No, not at all. No, not at all. We're just saying, look, 5 months out, the opposition's actually got a whole bunch of spending intentions, but they haven't got matching funding with it. And so, we don't... Do you
think people care about that?
Well, I think they should, because...
Well, she didn't answer the question. I asked her over and over again, where's the money? She didn't answer the question, and she didn't answer the question because she doesn't know where the money's coming from, obviously, and you can't drum up $11 billion because we don't have $11 billion for your pay equity and all that sort. But do you think people care about that, or do you just think...
Yeah, I think they should, and I think they are. I was very clear at the beginning of the year that we won't have a lolly scramble budget. We talked about national security and financial security being a big part of that. We went through a budget where I think people recognised we were being responsible and doing the right thing, because we've maxed out the credit card, we've used up the rainy day fund, and now we're getting sort of letters from the credit agencies. So, but New Zealand has, when you came through the budget and you see 2.7% growth, 220,000 jobs, a budget surplus emerging, which means for the first time in a long time, in a decade, we've got revenue greater than our costs. All of that is at risk, and so they owe it to be responsible to come forward and say how they're going to fund it. Now they may well have plans to fund it, and secret plans they haven't told us that could be cranking up more tax or increasing borrowing.
I don't mind that,
but they got to front with it.
It's a contest of ideas.
Yeah, and I think they should be held accountable for it.
Just explain it to people.
Just explain it and say where you're going to get it from.
Yeah, exactly. How many handbags is too many handbags on a holiday to buy?
How many did you buy?
I didn't buy any handbags, but I know.
How much did your lovely wife buy?
I know people who did buy handbags, and what if the answer was 4?
Ooh, that's a lot. It's a lot of handbags.
Seems a lot, doesn't it? I thought it was a lot of handbags.
Do you sort of wear it on a Friday night yourself? Do you get your handbag out and sort of like?
All right, nice.
Well,
get on to the airport thing for me, will you?
I'll get onto it straight away.
Get rid of the paperwork.
Yep. No, very good. Hey, it's good to have you back.
Is it?
Well, I think so.
Did you deal with who was on? Was Heather on?
Yeah, Heather was on.
Is she any good?
Well, I think she does more evenings, right? So it's a bit of an adjustment to the morning. She did all right.
Did she struggle off here? Was that the problem?
No, she was okay. No, she was. There was a lot of coffee being consumed and caffeine, I suspect it was. Whereas you're back to what the peppers and the kiwi fruit and whatever it is.
Right. Anyway, nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Go away from me.